Hello, viewers. Bonjour. You're welcome. I just want you to know that this is your host again, Janet Adenisi. Please, I don't want you to sit on the fence. Subscribe to this channel so that you can be part of this family. And I want to say I love you. Thank you so much. If you've seen part of our videos that we've done recently, you get to have more informations about your home, your love life, your relationship, your mental health, your physical health, your social health, and many more things like that. So on this particular video, we're just going to discuss about sex psychology, which is sex should be enjoyed. And this is the part 2 of the video. So please subscribe, press the subscription button and be part of this family. Don't sit on the fence. I love you. So in my last video, we spoke about, if you've not watched the video, you can go back and look at the sex psychology. Sex should be enjoyed. That is for the part 1. And this is the part 2. In the part 1, we discussed about, do you know after sex, sadness is a big deal and a big thing? Do you know that the sense of smell can make you have more organism? And also, do you know sex increase your immunity to pain? And also, do you know that organism is something that every woman should have, and no one should lose it as a woman? I've not logged into my Google Drive, but it's okay. Let's crack on. Yeah. So the fifth one, this part 2 of the sex psychology, is that, can I ask you, do you know your organism? Have you ever experienced it before? Or maybe you had it before, but you lost it. What happened? Or maybe you've never experienced it before. Don't worry. Now, this one might scare you, because for me to ask you such questions, I know you're brainstorming, you're thinking, oh, have I ever have organism before when my spouse make love to me? Or maybe I used to have it before, but something went wrong. Or maybe I have not even heard about it before. Ooh, check my video on G-Spot. Is a tutorial for G-Spot where you can learn and understand how to reach organism, not just for you as a woman, but for your husband, for your spouse. You need to know how to put your woman in the right position to enjoy sex as a pleasure, as an enjoyment, and also to continue to love yourself. So now, I don't want you to be scared, because if you have been obviously, with your spouse, I believe you're sexually active, for an extended period. And if you're not been, sexually active for an extended period, then don't worry. However, also there's possibility that you can lose your sexual sensation because you've been out of touch of sex for some time, if you've not had sex for an extended period of time. And if you go for a long period without sex, if you're a woman, then you have so many dangers in there as well. Like, sex helps you to distress, sex helps you to achieve well in your academics, in your career, in your business. Sex give you good atmosphere in your home. I call it love making as well, because you're supposed to enjoy love making with your husband, with your wife, with your spouse, because it stimulates, and expresses the love that you have for yourself. And also, during your period, your menstruation, sex helps you as well to alleviate, to reduce pain. So it's good for pain as well. So if you've not been having sex for some time, please rethink, and why. Because some of us, maybe you're going through one thing or the other. I totally understand, but please think about this. Sex is good and you need it. So there's a known called clitoral atrophy, which occurs when the clitoris doesn't receive enough blood flow, so which in turn causes it to retract into the body. So there's also the possibility of penile atrophy. So if you've not been having sex, these are the things that can cause it as well. But this usually has less to do with a lack of sex and more to do with aging or injury. And sometimes, I always say to people, it's not about, how old you are. Some of you can be 40 years old, and the way your body reacts to things can be as if you're more than 40 years old. So please look into that. We spoke about the clitoral atrophy, and also we spoke about the penile atrophy. These are the things that can cause you to decline in motivation for sex or love making, and it sometimes happens through aging or injury, and when you talk about injury, it doesn't have to be physical injury alone. I'm talking about mental injury alone, because our mental health affects our physical well-being. Our physical well-being affects our social well-being. Our social well-being affects our mental health and our physical well-being, so it's interwoven. Now let's crack on to the next stage. So another one that we'll be talking about, which is the second one this time, is do you want an organism? And then try and leave your socks on when you want to make love. I know people will be saying, oh, is that possible? Oh yes, it is possible. It's a proven research. If you have ever bought your partner lingerel as a man, and you bought your wife, your spouse, a lingerel, or like to play dress up, you might want to consider whether it is actually the best thing. Research done at University of Groningen suggests that if you want to increase your chances of having an organism as a woman, you might just want to keep your socks on during sex. Their theory is that in order to have an organism, you need to be totally relaxed and anxiety-free, stress-free, and cold feet could interfere in the ability to really get into the moment of your sexual encounter, sexual moment, and for you to enjoy your sex. They could be declining that. This is according to the psychologist and author from Woodfish. So please get your spouse a socks, get yourself a socks to keep warm. Now, the third one I'm going to talk about, which is the seventh one in this series, is that do you know that the hex chooses the winning sperm? Men like to believe that it is the fastest sperm that wins the race. Oh no, who told you that? Shh. Okay, so but this is so-called sex fact, and it's a massive misconception according to sexology Jill McDavid. She goes on to say, I need to log on to my Google Drive. Oh yeah, okay. So she goes on to say that the narrative is biased with our cultural lens about men being competitive, and also see the violent word like drilling, brewing, penetrating the egg. Why the egg? When the woman sits around passively. She then further explained by saying, in reality, eggs have sophisticated biological mechanism, and that actively choose which sperm they allow in or which sperm they're not going to allow in, the first to come, the first to serve, the first to arrive, which then you think about it makes a lot more sense. And the egg has a biological imperative to make the perfect match, just as we try to find the perfect partner. So if you're trying to get pregnant when you're having sex, you should know that, some theoretical evidence to count. However, just have faith in God and believe that God will do it. And you have testimony, and you have good things to say about you conceiving. And also when you're trying to conceive, eat very good balanced diet, take your folic acid, get good exercise, relax well, and also enjoy sex. Enjoy it. Okay, now the last but not the least, which is the eighth in this series, but the fourth that I'm explaining to you, is that do you know that people who have less sex overcompensates in their jobs? Now, this one may open your eyes. Let me tell you something. Those who like to stay awake, sitting down in front of the computer, typing, doing this, doing that. Let me tell you something, is just a cover up of your emotions, of the way your body reacts. You become more workaholic and less of your sexual life. So now, if you're a single workaholic, research at the University of Göttingen in Germany found that people with an inactive sex life tends to do more work to compensate their lack of sex fulfillment. So therefore, you need to find a love life, within your relationship, and enjoy your spouse, enjoy your husband, enjoy yourself, enjoy your wife. And the study asked 32,000 people to open up about their sex life and work habits, and the results found that 36,000 of men and 35% of women who only had sex once a week would also work excessive hours at their job. So they're using their job working hours to compensate their lost emotions, their lost sex drive, their lost pleasures, in their love life. And the more work you have, the more stress you have, the more mental health issues you have, the more physical health issues you develop, the more social health issues you develop, and you continue to have more and more and more and more less sex drive, and also less sex. And also, when you now have the sex, you don't get used to it or accustomed to it, because it's a one in a lifetime thing, once a while thing. So gradually you continue to decline, and people will say, oh, I'm at the menopause stage. No, there's more to that. Be watchful, enjoy your sex life, talk about your sex with your husband, talk about your sex with your wife, discuss it, feel free to discuss it, don't be shy. God designed this, so embrace your sex life. These are the sex psychology tips I'm giving to you, because sex should be enjoyed by both parties, not by zero parties, not by one party, but by both parties. Oh goodness me, I didn't log on to my Google Drive. I love you. Please subscribe, you get more videos. Take care, and we'll see in my next videos. Have a lovely day. Anywhere you are watching us, anytime you're watching us, stay blessed. God be with you. Take care. Bye for now.